A good driver can make Sydney to Melbourne in around 10 hours. A rally driver, who is better than good, will take longer. For his roads are the roads the ordinary Australian seldom sees. The winding, unsealed, vaguely signposted tracks that only the locals really know. 2,500 miles. 4 days of tough driving through 2 states, Victoria and New South Wales. Bob Selby Wood, works superintendent on the famous Sydney Opera House, is also Australia's top rally director, the man chosen by the Australian Sporting Car Club to plan this big international event. The route must be tough yet fair, hard yet within reason, grueling but safe, and above all, a supreme test of drivers, navigators and the cars they drive. The survey period calls for complete secrecy. The rally director takes to the air to complete the planning. The first Rothmans Southern Cross will be no Sunday picnic. Headlights. Yet 71 crews are entered, including 3 from overseas and Australia's best. Right. As well as the sponsored cars, there are the private entries, enthusiastic amateurs, men who love the sport, who hope for that break of luck that could bring them in ahead of the big-name works teams. Rick Harris and Fred Logan, 2 men out to give it a go. Their Cortina reinforced with sump and petrol guards and extra lights. We're going to follow this pair throughout the rally. The route is secret until departure. All that's known is that mountain roads will predominate.
Forward is the next one. It'll be interesting to find what road he takes down there.
Well, knowing Bob Selby Wood, he'd probably shoot us down here somewhere.
62-year-old Alec Hayward and his elderly MGY Sports. Not the best car for rallies, but he enters, and to him, that is the important thing. Even if BMC knows about the MG, it has bigger fish to fry. Here to drive Works Mini Coopers are Finn, Rano Altonen, and Irishman Paddy Hopkirk, 2 of the fastest loose surface drivers in the world.
Get up, you know, and try and keep the weight down, and also put a few special items you're going to need.
Can we get the English rally seat over? This is the fiberglass one that is made actually to fit me, you know.
Yeah, we'll have to get it flown out. You've got your own personal seat over
Yes,
there.
we have.
Well, how would you think the pedals will be, Rano?
Well, they are quite nice, except the gas pedal.
The which one?
Beg your pardon, accelerator.
Yeah, the accelerator.
It's too far apart from a brake pedal for tow and heeling.
Precious dockside cargo. 2 Volvos from Sweden. 4 of the tough Volvos start, 4 will finish. These 2 have come straight from the factory with special snow tyres. Rally seats that grip like a vice. Halder meters computing in hundredths of a mile. West Australian Murray Stubber in the Holden station wagon. He's got over 2,600 miles, Perth to Sydney, to drive to the start line. Before the start, scrutineering. Cars fall into 4 engine size classes, each divided into standard and modified.
Navigator, Fred Logan, Bank car, Cortina, type 1500, 440. Right. Licenses, please.
Sydney's giant Roseland shopping centre and the bustle of the rally start. First car, the Japanese Prince Gloria 6, driven by Carl Kennedy. What lies ahead? They get their first route instructions at the start. The Firth team has to learn new place names.
Yes, driver's license, navigator's license. Here am I, too.
Yes, well, that's just about right,
Well, that's very good. Everything's in order.
Out goes the Winkler Smith Volvo. Good navigators like Australian Gary Chapman with Hopkirk have to get them there. Hopkirk is happy, for like overseas rallies, the Southern Cross comprises a series of fast special stages with points lost for every 15 seconds late. The Avis Rent Car helmet infantry of Wendy Taylor and Patricia Hart, an entry in the special women's section.
Boots. Got the boots. Hey, your boots will get out of the pipe. We might need the changer on the tyres. You got the spare fuel?
31 of the field will fail to finish. One of them, Gelignite Jack Murray, legendary figure of the round Australia trials of the 50s and a favourite with the crowds. The practical joker of rallying. A $40 orange stink bomb, a wolf's head mask, and he's away. World Rally champion Rano Altonen. Even at this stage, he's not happy with the Cooper's generator. Roy Denny, one of Australia's best navigators, there to show him the way. Denny has steel nerves. With Altonen, master of sideways motoring, he'll need them. But it's almost time for the Harris Logan Cortina to go. Looks like he's been away on rallies before. Among the last to be flagged off, the Harry Firth Graham Hoyneville team. A modified Cortina GT, fully equipped, even headlight washers.
9.42, turn right into Hoxton Park Road. Turn right at 9.97, signpost to Great Western Highway.
The first night section, 700 miles to Wagga. The fresh, alert field storms through the Blue Mountains, past small country towns with names like Old Bowenfeld, Shooter's Hill, and Dingus, through the Janolan Caves, once a bushranger's hideout, where far underground, the patient dripping of calcified water builds shape and color in the limestone. Six and a half hours out from Sydney, the field pours into Crookwell for a meal break. The pattern has begun. Breakfast at midnight, lunch at daybreak, a small snack when you can get it, and sleep, well, that's another story. Mini Cooper team leader Evan Green checks his oil. Already there are 3 retirements, a Peugeot 404, a Mini and a Cortina. Doug Chivers, Lindsay Adcock, and the Alfa Romeo Julia Super have lost 2 points. Harry Firth is 2 down.
How are you, Carol? Doing fine? You haven't lost it yet?
No, never.
Points now? Or how many? We're not divulging. Just a
You
couple.
followed the whole route round. You got the whole way. Have you seen the other girl?
No, I believe it's just a bit of...
How's Hopkins?
He's running out of oil twice already. Which one did we get up?
Hopkirk is in trouble with a collapsed hydrolastic suspension, a special British unit. But almost all the top crews have clean sheets. No points lost. On with the brilliant quartz iodine lights and away to the first of the special stages. A 44-minute blinder near Wyangala Dam. Every 15 seconds late here costs you a point. You have to pick which way the dirt road goes around the next corner, the next crest. A mistimed half-second can spell disaster. The Keane Roberts Cortina has ended its Southern Cross Rally with nobody badly hurt. There are 5 mishaps still to come. You start to feel bad. The eyes are tired. The car is sliding too much. There's a funny noise in the shockers. The navigator is starting to feel physically sick from the swaying. At daybreak, 15 minutes to recover in the mist-shrouded town of Jugiar. The tough Volkswagens, most of them wearing the larger 1.6-litre engines, are still with the leaders. More sunshine brings new problems. Water splashes and stretches of thick black mud. Australia's black soil is great for cricket pitches and sugarcane, but who needs it now? Harris and Logan in the Cortina have found the biggest mud hole in that part of the parish. Now it's dig and shove and grunt and hope for someone to stop. But this is a fast stage. Harry Firth, racing to grab time, brushes the Cortina on the way through. He's really in a hurry. This is one way to do it. Build your own road. The earth and gravel roads present new problems. The leaders are averaging over 65 miles per hour in some sections, and the pace of the rally is growing faster and faster.
About 50. Now, a short left-hander. Yes.
There are 53 gates in this rally, and each has to be opened and shut. Altonen tips out navigator Denny and makes him run to the car, pouring on the coals in his 1310cc Mini a moment before Denny hits the seat. Local drivers are kinder. Some back up for the hard-working gate man.
Still, you know. There's some dust on the road. Max must be just in front of us.
Get Walter on the radio, mate. Yeah, should do. We're getting close. Right, switch her on.
This is Radio Riverina 2WG, the time 9 o'clock. The Associated Agents of Wagga advise that there will be a total yarding of 23,000 head at the Wagga sheep sale this morning. The market comprises 20,000 fat sheep and lambs and 3,000 store sheep. Here are details of the Rothmans Southern Cross Car Rally field, which is now checking into Wagga after the first stage from Sydney. There are 12 cars still without loss of points. Hopkirk has lost 142 points, and Altonen is down 60 points after generator trouble. Favourites who have lost no points include Barrie Ferguson, Greg Gerrard, Frank Kilfoyle and Evan Green. Harry Firth is still 2 points down. The 9 o'clock temperature reading at Wagga, 56 degrees. The weather outlook continuing fine with a chance of overnight rain on the slopes.
By Wagga, 8 cars have retired. Others are showing signs of contact with the scenery. The crews have 9 hours of daylight to rest, while the cars are locked in control. No work allowed. The same evening, and the Rothmans Southern Cross field is on its way to Melbourne, the halfway mark in the rally. Still cheerful, still oblivious of the unbelievable special stages to come. Going very well is the 3-car team entered by Victorian Holden dealers, probably the best prepared cars in the rally. Firth, despite his points loss, is confident. And the fuel-injected Peugeot is still a big threat. More dust to contend with, and further on, mud and water.
We've got a fair right just over the crest.
I know, how quick is it?
Pretty quick. Just quick enough to be safe. Followed by a right-hander.
The bright auxiliary lights are on again. They need them to cut through the darkness. A short breather at the small town of Tumbarumba, and the crews can use it. The now famous Bathanga Stampede is not far away. Director Selby Wood contrived this very difficult special stage to sort out the leaders in a big way. 3 sections in a clover leaf around the tiny centre of Bathanga call for split-second timing and multiple controls at one start-finish centre. Approaches from the wrong direction catch many drivers. The points mount up. Ken Tubman loses the windscreen of his Hillman to flying stones.
What is it?
And this is the last time we'll see the Holden of Brisbane driver Lionel Williams in one piece. Bathanga shattered the field. Everybody lost points. Russell's highly favoured Peugeot found a hidden ditch and dropped 196 points. On to Albury, on the New South Wales Victorian border.
Over again, we've got another Cortina with us this time. It's a quickie. Car 34, that was.
As they struggle into the checkpoint, Altonen has lost more points, but Firth has now reached second place behind Ferguson's VW.
It's only 8 minutes, and I think that'll take a lot of tightening.
Oh, nobody will get near that.
No.
Yeah, well, then there were the other sections. There was another 3 classrooms too.
A little wild section.
Yes. What happened at the motor?
Oh, we had the drain cock up in the radiator.
Level water.
How do you think this compares with what you had previously?
This is very much like the East African safari. Much the same kind of road surfaces and conditions.
Well, it's interesting at any rate. Keep you on the ball.
It looks difficult at the moment, but we'll try.
An hour's rest and the tired field gets underway again. Some thinking the road signs very appropriate. It's back to the bush, and now more than ever, there's no room for error.
Timber jink is coming up the other way on this bit. Right. Around the next left hand, you've got a bridge.
Lionel Williams had a bad night.
You took it over 4 times.
Yeah, that's right.
You mean on 4 separate occasions, or?
No, just once. I don't make a habit of this.
The Avis girls are piling up lost points, and the Imp, true to its name, is in all sorts of trouble. Maybe those boots are meant for walking. Closer to Melbourne, the mud-stained cars sweep over some of the best alpine roads in Australia. Altonan is setting some shattering averages over the smooth gravel.
Next turn's 4.5 tenths from now.
Greg Garrard's Holden is now 5th outright and highest placed Holden. Around Lake Eildon, off the gravel and back onto the bitumen again. The second stage is now nearly over.
How we go before we pass the start? We've got a few minutes to spare. I go past it. I wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of time up our sleeve. We've got about 15 miles to go.
Melbourne, halfway house for the rally. Rival to Sydney is Australia's biggest city, a venue for many famous international sporting events. The 1956 Olympic Games were held here. "13 cars now retired, and the road-stained field leaves Melbourne on Friday afternoon with rumours of snow up ahead. Some even have to ask their way out of Melbourne. Thank you, Charles. On the roadside, just out of Melbourne, Ford Works mechanics descend on Firth's GT Cortina, replacing the cam followers in just 32 minutes. Dusk as they head towards Sale, towards the Alps, and the smell of snow in the air over Suggan Buggan. Ferguson still leads.
Oh, by the way, I heard there was some snow up around the ranges.
Let me move forward out of the way a second, boys.
How's it going, Paddy?
Terrible. Well, very well, but I've had every diabolical thing happen to this car. I wonder what it'd be anything to do with servo. With the servo was putting the brakes on all the time. Let's try that now. Oh, that was that too. But I wonder if they disconnect the bloody servo.
That night, there is no snow, but there are hazards. The cars skate past the edge of 300-foot drops into valleys, lights fingering through blackness. During this stage, to end at Canberra, many vital points are lost. This is cattle country, with cattle grids every few miles. This grid damaged the Kennedy Prince Gloria and will drop leader Lang Peach's Renault back to third in Class B with a smashed front end. Into the snowy valley. Thankfully, the roads are cleared of snow. In midwinter, there's more snow than in Switzerland. But the spring thaw is on, and the slippery roads add one more hazard to the Rothmans Southern Cross Rally.
Just a moment. Control. It's about another 5, 6 tenths, that's all.
Firth is still second after the hard night. From Cooma, Ferguson in the VW, still as exuberant as ever, leads the field over the famous rally stage of Yayuk at Aminaby. 50 miles of gravel to go. The leaders entered Australia's national capital, Canberra, in its spring glory of poplar, silver box trees and burly griffin planning. 3 days gone, one more to go. Three more cars have retired. The strain of the rally is telling on both crews and cars. Back in Sydney, the big scoring team tallies up the points. Ferguson leads with only 51 points lost. Then Firth, 59. Kilfoyle, 60. Vaughan's Cortina, 63. Garrard, 69. Altonan has lost 132 and Hopkirk 189. The class leaders have changed, and every crew is hoping desperately that their car will keep going to Sydney. Out of Canberra with the threat of rain in the mountains ahead. Leaving a little before dusk again, the strain is squarely on them all. For a brief stage, back on the main roads again, and the normal traffic to contend with. Two special stages in the back roads around Yass and Collector saw a Mini Cooper come to grief on a bridge and the class-leading Mitsubishi Colt roll over. Out in the blackness, there's nothing. No people, few homesteads, just the lights, the swaying car, the blurred navigational notes. Ferguson still leads, until his Volkswagen runs head-on into a tree and the lead goes to Harry Firth. Meanwhile, the Drain-Wellard Renault has taken second place in Class F after the BMC Works Cooper of Bob Holden and George Shepherd hit the same tree and dropped to third. It was a busy tree that night. It also beckoned the Forrest Miller Volvo, which called for some rather drastic panel beating. Everybody gets tired of opening gates. Everybody gets tired of shutting them. But it's one of the rules. Some just get more tired than others. Next time, he'll take the train. Fog and river crossings rip points from the teams on this final leg. Cars start failing. They lose head gaskets, gears, brakes, lights, everything but the will to finish. The fog continues all through the Kangaroo Valley and the rich country of the southern tablelands. Nobody can relax. The clock is still ticking away.
right tail a bit, we better pull out and let's get out.
Right
Finally, Sydney, and the huge welcoming crowd at Roselands. Harry Firth, the grey fox, has won again, and Selby Wood knows the course was a tough one. The Rothmans Southern Cross, Australia's first international car rally, rightfully takes its place with the legendary Monte Carlo and the East Africa Safari. 40 cars came home. Firth and Hoyneville winning from Gerard Goulburn's Holden. Class A goes to a Honda, Class B to Renault, C to a Cortina, D to a Holden, E and F to Mini Coopers, G to Firth's Cortina GT, and H to Gerard's Holden. Only 2 of these are full works entries. The private teams have done well. Rick Harris and Fred Logan lost a lot of points, no prize money for them, but a tremendous satisfaction from completing the course and many lessons well learned. For the factory entries, more valuable experience in design, in component parts, in safety features. Lessons for them that will ultimately reflect in the cars built for the top Australian and international motoring conditions. This was the Rothmans International Southern Cross Rally.